YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I found this video in my archives and I was like shocked because this was one of the last sets that I did before moving out my little nail room at my shop, I believe. I don't know if I posted this video or not. I'm very unsure. So if I did and I'm reposting it, sorry. I haven't even looked through my history of videos. But I was like, let's post it up. Anyways, if I did or if I didn't, it's in my archives. And I was like, let's get this video out the way. This client only prefers nail forms, no nail tips. I've tried convincing her to get nail tips and she just won't budge. Yeah, I don't know why, you guys. She just does not like nail tips. So I haven't done a nail form video in a long time. And here it is for you guys. Here it is. My nail forms are available on the website. I'll post it down below in the description box. If you would like to buy my nail forms, I made them custom made for me because I wanted them white. Since before I never saw any white nail forms. I've been having my nail forms for the past 5-6 years, and it's the only thing I use. If I need them longer, I just double them up. Yeah, super easy. But how's everybody doing today? I believe I'm using a 4XC grit cone tapered bit. These bits right here, I love them the first days I'm using them, but with use, they do lose their sharpness really fast for some reason. And sometimes I sharpen them, but they just don't continue to stay like the sharpness I loved when I purchased them. It just changes. Not all carbide bits are meant to be, sharpened. But yeah, and oh my god, you guys are gonna see a funny video coming soon, but someone booked me to do nails on Labubu's. Yup, y'all heard that right, Labubu's. I feel like one of them is a Lafufu, but if it is, mind your business. Don't say nothing. And I was also asked to bling out some Sony angels, something like that. Sunny or Sony angels. They're super cute. These things are a little adorable. They got little like animal hats and stuff. So since I don't have anything to do today, that's what I'll be doing. Look, I changed to the other bit. This one is a 4XC dust-proof carbide bit right here. I love this one, you guys, but it is really, really sharp. And if you are not, how do I say this? The blades are really, really pronounced. So what can happen with this carbide bit, if you use it at a really low speed, it's going to catch on the acrylic really bad. And that bit is going to twirl around the whole damn finger. I think I was just adjusting it to be closer to the mandrel. Is that what they call to the drill handle? Oh my gosh, she had hit this nail a few days ago. No, with her last set. And it's a little detached from the tip. But super easy. I need to be super careful. If you see, I always hold the nails really close to my thumbs just because I'm trying to protect the cuticle area. Girls, because if you touch a client with this bit, you're shredding their finger up. That's what I always say. Take precautions when I recommend you the 4XC carbide bits, because I've been using these things since 14 years now. So I feel like I've gained a lot of experience. I always test these on myself first. Never on a client, because you guys need to go by feel. How does it feel with pressure? How the speeds? And this bit you cannot use at a low speed. Nothing lower than 25 RPMs because it does catch. And what I mean when I say is catch is like if the blade catches into a thick portion of acrylic where it did not cut, the blade basically stops and twirls around the finger. That's what I mean when I say catch. I think some of y'all know what I'm talking about. We don't want that, especially with these bits. Once I remove all the acrylic, I switch to I believe this is the fine grit. Oh no, this is not a fine grit. I don't even know what kind of carbide this is, you guys. I think I got, I want to say I purchased a left to right. I guess this bit can be used left-handed and right-handed. It will work the same way, either direction. The blades look straight instead of going around the carbide bit. So since the blades go all the way to the tip, I love this carbide bit to remove any lifting because it's not a straight, I don't know how to explain it, but the edge of the carbide bit, the blades hug around it, if you know what I'm saying. So if I go around a lifted area, it's also going to help me remove that and cut that lifted area without leaving a ring of fire. Because a regular carbide bit, if you notice, the edge, it stops. The lines stop up to the top of the carbide. And you can actually leave a tremendous, what do you call it, ring of fire? We don't want that. We don't want that. We just want a nice clean little cut to remove that lifting. And yeah, being gentle. I use that one at like about 8 to 12 RPMs depending on the lift. So here I'm using 180 grit, 100 grit nail files. I hate these nail files, you guys. Ever since I purchased the Carlash nail files, I am in love because the Carlash, I want to say that's what they're called, Carlash. Oh my God, okay. I believe that's what they're called. They are so sturdy and firm. I don't know if you can see that I'm using this and it's starting to bend. Like you can see a curve to it I don't feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on this damn nail file and it's bending. But ever since I tried the Carlash and it's not bending, I'm in love with those nail files. The only thing that I have to purchase them on Amazon. And I wish there was just a store I can just go and buy all these nail supplies, because the nail supply near me is a 15-20 minute drive. Obviously not that far, it's just in the next city over. But they don't have like a lot of crazy amount of things for nails. They mainly have gel polishes, acrylic powders, a really small selection of like nail decorations and stuff like that. So and they're pretty cheap though. Their little charms are pretty cheap. I think I've seen bags for $2.50, $3.50, and like $6. I don't remember, but they're pretty cheap. They do have a lot of stickers. I'm like, what I need the stickers for? No one asked for them. But here I'm just prepping the nails, making sure that any acrylic left behind is blended to the nail plate. And then this is my prep. Everybody might think I'm weird, but you guys, I'm all about, practicing and all about seeing if there's better techniques out there. So I actually use my diamond bits that are for prepping cuticles after I have removed the shine. But I've seen that mostly people use them before prepping the nails. So it's weird. I'm telling you, I just always go by feel. So the first thing that I would recommend anyone to do when doing nails is push back the cuticles first. But your girl be lazy. It's like, do as I say, not as I do. Or how does this, wait. Is that how you say it? Do as I say, not as I do. So, to be honest, her cuticles aren't that bad. So, I couldn't show you on these nails. But whenever you start off a new client, sanitize the hands, spray them down with some alcohol. Then go inspect them, cut the nails down, push back the cuticles. It could be with a wooden stick. They have plastic ones now, or a metal cuticle pusher. Be gentle. The cuticle pusher has to be, there's two ways, either flat to the nail bed, nail plate, whatever, or at a 45-degree angle, and you have to do it gently. There's some cuticle pushers that are really sharp and actually really scrape the cuticle. I used to have one, but I don't know where I purchased it, and I want it again because that will help my diamond bit cut through that cuticle that is sealed on the nail bed. So as you can see here, I am using, I don't know if it's a round top or a flat top, but I go around the left side. I used to get lifting problems on my side walls, you guys. And it was annoying because who gets lifting on the side walls of the nail? I did. Once I started doing this to all my nail preps where I focus on the cuticles and side walls, my lifting has been almost non-existent with clients. Lately, all of my clients have been coming to me. I don't know if it's because my nails last that long, but they've been coming every 5 to 6 weeks, you guys. And sometimes I'm like, girl, where is this girl at? And then they'll be like, you know me, once one lifts, that's when I book my appointment. And I'm like, girl, why are you doing that? You should be booking your appointment sooner. I should be seeing you the latest 4 weeks. 4 weeks is my max, because every time clients hit the 5-week mark, that's when they already hit a nail, bent a nail, because the apex has moved up. And then they wonder where they're cracking their nails in a specific area, because it's like, girl, because the strength is not there anymore. It has moved up. It's like if you're cleaning, cooking, and especially when you wash your dishes, your nails get soft. And you know that nail that's exposed from like the grow out, and then you start cleaning, doing something, that nail is soft. It's going to bend on you. And then you wonder why you damage your nail beds and nail plates and crack your nail plates. You know what I'm talking about? So, I mean, you guys, we can't control those things. Clients are going to book whenever they're going to book. It's just more work when they come with lifted, cracked nails. Look, you guys, I always see a lot of people talking shit to other nail techs that work on people with 1, damaged nails, 2, nails with fungus, 3, I think that's about it. But like I said before in another video, acrylic was made for those situations. People must not read, or people must not know their history with certain situations, but acrylic was made to give a broken, damaged nail the illusion that it's a healthy nail. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. I think I keep looking at the design she sent me. Yeah, because she sent me a design. I was just wanting to make sure, like, I don't know what I was trying to look at. But, you know, us nail technicians, cosmetologists are here to beautify you, make you look better, make you feel better. And you guys, especially with fungus, people that have fungus actually are never exposing their feet. Let's be honest. They're never exposing their feet unless they're home alone. They always are hiding their feet. So imagine your feet always being in socks, always being in shoes, them not changing their shoes. So it's sorry, I got a phone call and my conversation was cut. But yeah, it's like if you ask me, I would recommend acrylic on your toes. If they're not looking right, I recommend it. Because I've been doing my research. To be honest, I even did my research as far as to going to, I believe, the DCA and OSHA and all that kind of stuff, licensed cosmetologist. I went to the barbering barbering cosmetology website to see what they say about acrylics on fingernails with fungus. It doesn't say anything, you guys. It's not regulated here in California, at least. But at the end of the day, when you look at the definitions and all this kind of stuff, they always say that we are here to beautify the hands and feet. And when it comes to that, to me, it's like, oh, okay, we got to beautify them. We got to make them look better. We are here to make you look good, feel good. People need to shut up. I'm tired of watching people talk shit about people that wear acrylic on their toes. That's what they want. If you don't want acrylic on your toes, then you don't want acrylic on your toes, and leave the people that want it alone. Like, why do you have... I'm tired of people not minding their business. If I want to wear a nail on my lifted ass fingernail, mind your business. Mind your business what I do in my regular life. You're not the one here wiping my... Now I'm ranting, you guys. Now I'm going off. I'm just tired of people and nail techs getting bashed for a certain way they do things. So, you guys, I want to teach myself and learn myself how to do a Russian manicure. But I'm starting to believe that I will have to pay for a class, you guys, to learn this, because I am so confused with the internet. I follow this one specific girl or lady, woman, whatever. And I sometimes get annoyed when she posts videos. You'll probably know who I'm talking about. But she sometimes posts videos about, she'll put like professional work, not professional work. And then professional work and not professional work videos, right? And when I see the professional ones, I just feel like it has a really neat, clean aesthetic. Really cuticles are disappears, smooth finger cuticles, whatever. So the cuticles look perfect. Like, they look like, oh my God. I look at those cuticles and I'm like, those look clean. Makes your work look even cleaner. But when she posts the not professional videos, quote unquote, not professional, it's what everybody is getting done now, which is like the crazy colors, rhinestones, 3D work. And in my head, I'm like, are you bashing people that get a lot of charms and gems and or whatever on their nails, or what is it? Or I don't know. In my head, I'm just like, she should just say that that's her opinion and not say it like, oh, your nails are ghetto, my nails are professional. I don't know, you guys. I'm just tired of the internet. I am really sensitive about my shit. Let me tell you. That's why I feel like maybe I haven't grown as a channel or as an influencer type thing, or maybe because it's just, I will be talking shit. I'll be in the comments like, let me shut up. I'm just really not that type of person to not defend myself when I'm being pricked at, basically. Because let me tell you, I was so mad about someone talking about the blue nails I did, the curved little short baby blue nails I did. I was getting so much negative stuff about why are they shaped like that? And then the little vomit faces. So I deleted all those. I don't think you guys got to see them, because as soon as I was getting them, I was deleting them. And I was like, why are people like that? Like, if you don't like them, you don't like them. You don't have to put a vomit emoji or be like, what are those? And, oh, don't like them. And ew. And why? Just keep the comment to yourself. Let the people who like them enjoy them. If you don't like them, then don't watch them. Block me. Yeah, you guys. I don't know. I'm all over the place. And that's why I feel like I fall on and then, no, I get on and then fall off, because some people could say some pretty mean stuff on the internet. But I'm like, but wait, it's courage, because they don't have to say it in your face. They don't ever have to see you at all, because they're either in another state, another city, another continent. I don't know where they're at, but they just want to bash and bash. And it's like, I'm not saying I'm the best or I'm the shit, but this is my passion. This is my career. This is what pays my bills. So I don't understand why people just can't mind the business. I'm tired of the gossip. I'm tired of all that. It's just a lot of nail techs bashing other nail techs. And just, I don't know. I'm going to do my research again. I might even call the barber and cosmetology, whatever, and ask these questions about the acrylics on nails with funguses. Because it's like you go to a podiatrist and all they do is just prescribe you medication. They don't really remove the fungus, you guys. They really don't. They might shave it down. They might even, like my mom, okay, she's been having a fungus on her toes for 10 plus years. She's had to stop taking the fungus medication because it was messing with her liver or her kidney, something like that. So she completely stopped. So now it's like, so she will get a toenail done, acrylic on her big toe. Because it's like, how else am I going to hide it if I want to wear sandals, open toe shoes? I don't want no people looking at my toes and being like, ew, type stuff. And I told him in my head, I was a kid. At that time, I think I was like around 10, 11. And me remembering that, now that I'm actually a cosmetologist and I do this, it's like, it's always been happening where people were getting acrylic on their toes. Like, I'm confused. Why is it a problem now? Shout out to this girl. I forgot her Instagram name, but she does the so-called toe BBLs. And if you see her clients' feet before and after getting services done by her, their fungus is clearing away. She puts this stuff that's called cuticle rid. Oh my God. Fungus rid or fungal rid, something like that. Girls, when I see the progress of the client's toes every time they come, that fungus is almost disappeared. Funguses obviously love warmth, love humidity. But imagine these girls are probably never taking off their shoes or never really changing stuff because they're ashamed to show their toes off. I bet you now that they have acrylic toes on, they wear sandals more often so their nails could breathe. That acrylic on top of the nail ain't gonna do shit. The tip of it is open and exposed, and they can add their treatment through there. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know what you guys think, but I have worked on damaged nails. I have applied acrylic on damaged nails because the purpose of acrylic was to give the nails illusions that the nail is fine and nothing's wrong with it and it's not cracked and it's not deformed. That's what acrylic was initially made for. And I think this is my second or third time talking about this, but it's like the only difference that happened throughout our years is that we started mixing pigments in it and glitter. Now we're encapsulating. Now we created all these other shapes. And so if that's how we express our creativity and how we feel inside, let us do it. Because if it was up to me, you guys, I would have been tatted from the tip of my forehead to the back of my heel. But since I grew up in a specific, household, I still was a little rebel and still decided to get tattoos and do whatever and dye my hair and do whatever I wanted. My nails are the thing that I could be like, if I want to have neon green nails tomorrow, I can, But, oh my God, you guys, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Probably I had too much coffee. But tell me what you guys think about these toe BBLs and working on damaged nails and working on cracked split nails. What is your real opinion and what do you guys think? If you guys don't agree with acrylic on toes, that's fine. Put your opinion. But there's a difference, you guys. There's a difference between saying, oh, I don't think it's healthy, or I'm not okay with it, I feel like it does whatever. There's a difference when you give your opinion like that. But let's say if you're like, oh, disgusting or gross, or you start bashing the person's feet, or that's when it gets to me like, okay, girl, shut the fuck up type stuff. That's where I get upset, because instead of people being like, oh, my opinion is that, no, I do not agree with that, blah, blah, blah. Maybe because you're misinformed or you're being ignorant. I don't know if it's like you're just mad you can't get them done. I don't know. I just get so upset because there's no need to be a disgusting person or disrespectful, rude, ignorant person when commenting on specific videos. I just don't agree with that. If you disagree, you disagree. Give your opinion respectfully. Don't go bashing. Don't go calling names. Don't go putting throw up emojis and stuff like that. To me, that you're the one being a disgusting person. If that's basically what I'm saying. But oh my God, yes. I feel like lost in the conversation where we were just, I don't know how we got to this point. See, I'll be talking shit. You see why I can't be making these specific videos, because that's what we're talking about, why I can't be an influencer, because of the feedback. I mean, I do get a lot of people that may say, I would never do that. In my head, that's you, and then there's me, and then there's the in-between line that you should be minding your business type stuff. I feel crazy, you guys, when I do voiceovers, because it feels like I'm literally talking to myself. I'm literally in my living room, in the middle of my living room, talking to the phone, laughing and making hand gestures like I'm literally sitting with you, Kiki, and Oh, but yeah, the reason what I was talking about, let's get back to what I remember that I was going to say. So I did a video because of that, talking ish, right? And I was saying it in Spanish. I was saying bad words in Spanish because in the video, oh my God, hopefully, do I have the video? I probably might post a little clip here. Hopefully I find it. Let me pause this voiceover and let me see if I still have that video uploaded on my phone, so you guys can see what I recorded it. And I was shocked to get this many views on that video right away in minutes. But let me see if I can go look for it. Give me a second. Okay, I had to do a screen record because I'm guessing I recorded the video with the Instagram camera, but let me post it for you guys. It has some Spanish in it, so if you understand, you understand. If you don't, sorry. But I was basically telling everybody to F off if they don't like my nails. But, and then I was mentioning how, like, that's why I'm not an influencer. Why? Because that video is showing that I was sensitive about my ish. So you're going to see that I really don't get that many views. Some videos do hit 300 views, some 500, some 1,000. But this video hit 3.8K views in so little time just because I was talking ish. So that's okay. I'll be back. Let me just show you the video real quick. I'll be back. This is going to go out to the pendejas saying that why do my nails look like that? Have you not seen square tips? Curved at that? Chingan a su reputa madre. Por eso no soy influencer. Okay, so you guys saw the little clip? So, you see, you guys, this was a conversation I was having with one of my clients, saying, because some of my clients tell me, you should show more of who you are and I feel like your channel might grow more. You're very funny, you're very open, you're very, like, in your face, but then at the same time, you're a pretty shy person, and then sometimes you become really quiet, because we always have I do always end up having like quiet appointments with my clients because sometimes I just either am all turned up or I'm just quiet, dead silence, and focusing on what I'm doing. So I was telling her, like, I just don't like how do I have to be that vulgar and do I have to be that crazy and out there to actually get views and try and make money from social media. I don't want to grow like that. Like, I don't want to be this crazy person on social media because I don't know how to say, you guys, maybe I'm still really, really shy and really, really closed off, that I'm just like, I don't want people to think that's just how I am all the time, because it's not that. So we'll see, you guys. But I was so I was shocked that video hit that many views, because none of my videos are getting like crazy amounts of views. And I'm telling you guys, it's my inconsistencies of me not posting. And then there's days where I'm posting all day, like excessively, or I'll post like 10 posts at one time type stuff. So, I mean, I do have a life out of social media. So I'm wondering how these girls do it when they have time to edit videos, because it can take hours to edit something easy and basic. And you guys know I don't do a lot of edits on my videos. Like this video today is actually a run-on video from start to finish, I believe. And I didn't do no edits at all to the video. I might have just zoomed it enough so you guys can see what I'm doing. But for the most part, I don't do no crazy stuff on my videos. I really don't. It's raw material, raw videos. You know, I'm not trying to show y'all perfection. I'm showing you exactly how I do things. It's like, I'm not about to sit here and like clean up my mess just to, no, I'm not. That's just me. That's how I am. I'm a very messy, organized person. But yeah, you guys, this nail form was irritating me. So I have to customize this nail form to her. Whenever clients have a straight, basically, like you can see right there, this is a nail that's a bit lifted. In order for that nail form to sit snug underneath that nail, it has to be straight. So that's why I put the sticker there instead of just cutting. I try my best to straighten the nail forms as much as I can, but sometimes with nail forms, it does align to however her finger is sometimes, and not just exactly how the nail form is. But her nail curves like that. So what you guys want me to do? I try to straighten it out, but then sometimes when I straighten it out too much, it looks even more crooked. If you can see, her middle finger curves a lot. And that's out of my control, you guys. I can't straighten a finger. Like sometimes I don't like to straighten out nail tips or nail forms too much, for the simple fact that it also may look more crooked if I straighten it out a lot. Like, let's say if the nails are all pointing down, they look all perfectly straight, right? But let's say as soon as she moves her hands a different way or grabs something, you can tell that it's crooked to her fingernail. To her finger, not her nails. I don't know if I can explain it. Nails are tricky, you guys. It takes a lot of studying. It takes a lot, because sometimes I still do those mistakes. Like, I'm never I'm not here like being a perfectionist. I'm here just doing what I gotta do. I feel like everyone has had those days where you're just tired and you want to just finish working, that you just start slapping the acrylic like nothing, you know? So sometimes I know you guys may see like there's days I apply acrylic differently than other times. But sometimes I may be in a hurry. Sometimes maybe I'm looking at the time like, oh girl, I only got this much time left. Let me hurry up. And then my application changes because I'm trying to move too fast. So it happens. So, okay, you guys, I'm out. Thank you guys for listening to me, like always. And enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.